Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at FunkiMonki's Even Rogue. And before I get into things, I do want to say it feels good to be back. We've been a bit sick for the past week, so we did miss out on a couple of days of streaming, missed out on some pretty sweet decks, but we are back and we're feeling good. And it's great to cover a FunkiMonki deck. Straight off the bat, we've covered quite a few of their decks lately, and they've all been really interesting, if not very good. And this is no exception. So what we've got is an Even Rogue here, and I think a lot of the Even Rogues have been really exemplified by Captain Hooktusk as being just an amazing late game play for rogues. 8 mana 6/3 battlecry, summon 3 pirates from your deck, give them rush. You know, we can pull out in Even Rogue, we can pull out Cursed Castaways, we can pull out Ticket Scalpers. In non-odd decks, you can even pull out South Sea Captains and things like that. Just puts a tremendous amount of stats into play immediately and gives them all rush, so you can get back on board if you are a little bit behind. But what FunkiMonki here has said, at least in their Hearthstone write-up, of course, if you are watching the video on YouTube, that link will be down in the description, so you can go read along with me. But they do mention that Captain Hooktusk, too slow for Even Rogue. And I think I can kind of agree with it. It is quite a slow card, and especially, you know, these days, letting your opponent get to 8, 9, 10 mana is letting them get to Frostlich Jaina. It's letting them get to Blood River Gul'dan. It's letting them get to their late game power. And a lot of the time, Captain Hooktusk versus, you know, another late game powerhouse, it's a bit of a toss-up. So instead what they've done is they've cut the pirate package there, the Hooktusk package, and instead gone for a Corpse Taker package, which I actually really like. I think FunkiMonki really likes Corpse Taker as well, because I think the last couple of decks have also had Corpse Taker in them, or interesting Corpse Taker packages. Unfortunately, we don't get to play Ziliax because we are an even deck, which means we don't get the easy mode on a bunch of the abilities for Corpse Taker. We do have Vicious Scalehide for the lifelink. We've got Lich King and Saronite Chain Gangs for the Taunt, Argent Commander for the Divine Shield, and a Singleton Wind Fury Harpy for the Wind Fury. So I quite like that. They also mentioned that they really like the Corpse Taker package right now, for something that I hadn't realized. Of course, Cold Blood did get nerfed, so you can play it in Even Rogue now. It is 2 mana, but Cold Blood combines extremely well with Corpse Taker, and you know, Wind Fury in general allows you to put quite a really put the pressure on your opponent to answer the Corpse Taker, do something about it, else they are probably going to die in a few turns. Outside of that, it's a lot of very typical Even Rogue stuff here. Just the one Faldorai Strider, I do prefer the 2, and just the one Elven Minstrel here, which I can actually agree with. I think one of the toughest parts about Even Rogue that I've talked about before is that enabling your combos is extremely hard without cards like Firefly, without cards like Preparation. We really only have the Backstab to reliably do that. So I can actually get behind cutting the Elven Minstrels down to 1. And especially we don't have any other really big combo cards in here outside of the Cold Bloods and Eviscerate, which are usually easy enough to enable. But yeah, outside of that, we're going to jump into some games. We're going to see how well this one goes. Definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Corpse Taker package as a whole, just to make sure, just to see how it does compare with the Hooktusk package. But without further ado, let's go! Okay, here we are with the Even Rogue. Definitely keeping the 2-drop here. We'll keep the Backstab against a mage. Could be Odd Mage, something like that. We might want to take out something early on. Enable some combos, something like that. Maybe combine with our dagger to take something a little bit bigger down.
We have turned our curse into our
Maybe
strength.
I'm wrong with these Backstabs. Maybe we shouldn't be keeping Backstab.
A clever concoction.
I like this 2 damage dagger. This means that if our opponent has the 3 mana 3/4, then we Don't really have to stress.
Delightful.
I will go for a hit here. I think we will need to eventually start re-daggering up. This could be wrong though. I think a lot of the decision to attack there will probably come down to matchup experience.
Delightful.
Question is, do we trade the toxicologist and the dagger? I think so.
Delightful.
Here we go.
Maybe the backstab was a bit premature. That's fair enough, yeah. I am guilty of backstabbing too early. I don't think so. I think you're... Oh, there's a Dragon's Fury, okay. Ooh, sorry friend. Youch. Well, we can't really save this next turn. The fact that our opponent ripped off a Dragon's Fury so early. It's very interesting to me. Against Big Spell Mage, not going to have too many backstab targets. That's true. I guess that's the other thing about being away from the week is...
What to do?
I have no idea what the meta is. The season rotated as well, so...
How long can this go on? How long can this
Here we go.
Yeah, so we don't really know what's been going on with the meta at the moment. Excited to get back into it though. Happy with that.
Let the pain speak to me.
Let the pain speak to me. Might just go for the Wind Fury Harpy and see if we can sneak a Cold Blood in next turn.
I win.
Free me! Free me!
Here we go.
And ultimately, I think there's a Blizzard in our future, and there's not a lot we can do to play around that other than hope that our 5 toughness Wind Fury Harpy lives a little bit longer. In before Blizzard, yeah. It's coming. Or not. Don't know why they didn't bump first. No! Do a thing. Alright, yes, we're gonna Zihi just for the body.
Just a sip. Then you are mine.
Free me!
Here we go.
Hopefully our opponent had a 6-7 mana play and we've just totally goofed them. The fact that they went for Meteor there rather than Blizzard maybe says that they don't have another AoE. That made Blessing of Wisdom. Yeah, Pallies will need draw now that they've lost Divine Favor. That's a reasonable point. I mean, I always look at whenever there's statements like that made, I always say, usually it's when a card gets banned. So for instance, when Cold Blood got nerfed, right? You know, you can say that definitely that specific rogue deck got worse, but rogue decks were winning without Cold Blood.
The win is mine.
He says, Cold Blood. Rogue decks were winning without Cobbler, so just as much as you know, you've definitely seen Odd Paladins win without casting Divine Favor before. So I always like to say that we don't always want to replace something with the same thing. That you might just want to put another powerful thing in there. But anyway, talking about the matchup there, seemed pretty good. We were able to employ a lot of pressure, keep that pressure up, do a fair bit of damage. And our opponent had how many board clears? They had a Meteor, they had a Dragon's Fury. Yeah. So we're able to win through a couple of board clears, which I think is a good sign. So GG's, well played to our opponent. Okay, we're here with FunkiMonki's, even Rogue. Send back their expensive stuff. Hopefully we can hit another 2-drop. Not that 2-drop though.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
See what kind of hunter up against. No dice. Speaking of Diamol, there it is. Now this is an interesting question. What do we lead with here? Do we lead with the Bloodsail Raider, or do we lead with the Sharkfin Fan? I guess the 3/3 contests this a lot better. It's also better against Headhunter's Hatchet if our opponent's going to go for...
Here we go.
Going to go for that. If our opponent has like Crackling Razor, I think the Sharkfin Fan pairs up a lot worse against a lot more things. Wow, okay. So very weak, very weak adapt there.
I wonder.
This is tough. We could straight up eviscerate the Crackling Razor and redagger up. We could go Sharkfin Fan, but then where does that dagger go? Do we attack the Diamol? Do we attack face? Because all we want to do is present our opponent like, you can trade with this, but you don't get the best one. The other thing is if our opponent has an Eaglehorn bow next turn. This is hard, friends.
Here we go.
Oof. That was hard. Let me know if you're watching on YouTube or anyone in chat, what would you have done that turn? Because I think it's very close. 0.4 flanking strike. Ooh. Trade. Doesn't want to trade the Razor. Okay. Don't really want to use the Walk the Plank, but I think we have to.
Here we go.
This is a bit yuck. Sort of bit yuck. The one good thing to take from this is probably that if our opponent coined out a flanking strike,
To my side.
I think they're unlikely to have something like I think they're unlikely to have something like a Rexar. for us.
So many options. Here we go.
Hopefully we don't take too much damage this turn and we can use our Argent Commander to buy us some time, get us back on the board, and then maybe hold out the game with the Lich King. Our opponent did Master's Call, so we are not taking too much. Want to trade? Yeah. Ooh, second Argent Commander does make our Corpse take a little worse.
Here we go.
Does make the Corpse takers a lot worse, but I think it's good in this situation. Plus attack. Yep. Wow. What a great turn. Opponent is definitely setting themselves up for a solid victory. I don't think this Lich King can save us unless it holds down the entire board, feeds us the death coils, the 5 healing. Yeah. GG. So once again, just feel kind of a little bit awkward there with the Elven Minstrel being unable to get the combo off, drawing a bunch of those more expensive minions rather than the those mid-range minions that really help kind of gum the board down. But our opponent did exactly what they needed to do. They curved out, they contested our board, and they got a lot of damage in, made sure that even when we are close to stabilizing or close to being able to deploy some of those bigger threats, that we were already on single digits of life. So GG's, well played. Alright, here with the Even Rogue. Not a great hand here. We can maybe keep one of these 4-drops. We'll keep one of these chain gangs, just in case. Okay. We got our Shark Fin fan here.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Against another hunter. Hopefully we don't see a Diamol. It is the one thing that I was saying with all of these hunters moving more towards playing like Timberwolf Diamol Springpaw as their 1-drop selection, as opposed to Diamol Springpaw and a more resilient beast, or just a different 1-drop. That it is very weak to these 1-damage hero power decks, particularly Even Rogue, because they can dagger up first turn. 1 dagger trades for both Springpaws if you don't already trade with your Springpaws. However, a Dire Frenzy and Master's Call does give you quite a lot in the way of late game. The problem with Emerus is on turn 10 you probably don't have too many minions in your hand by then, because Hunter doesn't have too much draw. I mean, Master's Call, right? Do we just drop the Shark Fin fan and not attack? If it's Wandering Monster, it's really bad. If it's Explosive Trap, it is really bad. Though I highly doubt our opponent would have played a turn 2 Explosive Trap into a board of nothing.
Go Fools!
Choose soon.
I don't think we want to attack into a 1-0 monster. I think we're very unlikely to kill it, and whatever pops out is very likely to trade with the Shark Fin Fan. Can't play Master's Call on Emerus since she's not a beast. Well, you can. You can just use... It just means that if Emerus ever pops up in that, you can just discover another Emerus, which... I mean, if you're going to get to turn 10 and not die, having multiple Emeruses is actually really good.
To my side!
Summon a random Huffer. This Wind Fury Harpy has been magnetized to our hand.
Here we go.
Winter is here.
Always Huffer. Jiraxis. I think Jiraxis will come back for sure. I think if you take away the power level of, you know, Lackey Voidlord and Blood Reaver Gul'dan and things like that, Jiraxis actually represents a pretty reasonable late game plan. Okay. I mean, surely one of these is a freezing trap, right?
Welcome to my web.
Could have Changing there in case freezing, so you still have something on the board. It's very true. I think if we get this Veldora Strata freezing trap ed, we'll be pretty happy. That's a fly.
One more step.
Ooh, Venom Strike. And snakes. Ooh. Fortunately, Chang'an doesn't really match up too well against the Emperor Token. But double snakes. Vox, what's going on? We're playing some Even Rogue. Comes to us from FunkiMonki, who's of course in the chat. Hey cuties, yes. Everyone in chat is very cute today. And anyone watching on YouTube, if you want to be cute too, you can be cute. All you have to do is jump over to Twitch, chuck us a follow, jump in the chat, and voila, you're already beautiful. Even Rogue Sans Hook Tusk. Yes, so it's a bit of a different take on this Razor. Rough. Bit of a different take on Even Rogue with a Corpse Taker package.
To Northrend! Victory!
Here we go.
Bunny Pot, if you want to be cute, you gotta give me the CC number, expiration date, and CSV. Make sure you give me those 3 little numbers on the back. Winky face. What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh.
Victory!
Interesting.
Here we go. Light lightning can strike twice.
A clever concoction.
Job done.
No, no. Alright, Lich King, it's up to you. Pull me some value. Chameleos maybe finally be viable because Priest is losing so much of its spell support. Yeah, you know what? I haven't even thought about Priest in the context of the next meta. Although, interestingly, I think Priest was one of the few classes where odd and even was not really too viable.
So many options.
And we could go like Wind Fury Harpy Cold Blood trade. Or we just go for the Lich King. I feel like we want to give our Lich King the greatest chance to just kind of take over the game. And part of that is going to be trying to bait out any potential last kind of removal in our opponent's hand. I think for Priest, there might be some controlling builds with like, Mass Hysteria and things like that, but it's the finisher that's always going to be the problem. Possibly we might see like a very slow roll dragon control deck where you're still playing like Ysera. Losing Primordial Drake sucks, but maybe just some of the more mid-rangey and bigger dragons with the Witch Doctor to try and get you through those first couple of turns. Discover some spells to help you deal with whatever your opponent's playing. And just try and take over the game with some late game threats.
Sent whose fate.
So our opponent discovered something, but did not deploy it.
I'll never tell.
She'll never tell. Oh, we could have baited it with the scale hide. We've goofed that one up.
Here we go.
Is here.
Yeah, so we should have gone for the scale hide first to attack for the freezing trap. Yeah. Well, luckily we didn't get too punished, but obviously the difference is that we would have had a Wind Fury Harpy still in play.
I'll never tell.
Oof, good rip.
Your weakness betrays you.
Chill out.
Here we go.
Warriors of the frozen wastes.
And that was the cold blood for the Harpy, yeah. Yeah, we might have just lost because of that. Oh, is it killing all of them? Oh my gosh. Savage. I don't know if they factored that one in. I've never seen that before. Oh yeah, spiders, of course.
Chill out. Here we go.
No mistakes, only happy accidents. Bob Ross, yeah. I mean, we both goofed, right? So, this is classic rank 11 action. Ugh, spiders to save the day.
Chill out. Here we go.
Alright. Hopefully there's no exploding bloat bats with Rush in our future. Oh. Oh.
Here we go.
Got him. Whew. What a game. Some goofing was happened, but ultimately this is you know, we're not playing for sheep stations here. This is classic Hearthstone. So we'll play to our opponent. That was a really fun game. Really enjoyed that. GG's. Okay, we are here with FunkiMonki's Even Rogue. Just played a couple of games and had some mixed results there. I will say that did feel like a lot of the games we were drawing a good portion of our late game here. I think we saw Wind Fury Harpy every single game that we played, which is truly phenomenal. I'd rather see, you know, Shark Fin Fan every game that we played or something like that. Nothing too much that I really want to change here. I think the most awkward thing that really happened in those games is the transition from 2 to 4. So turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, even turn 5. We can have some draws which are really good. Like we get to go turn 2, Toxicologist, turn 3, Shark Fin Fan, you know, attack with the dagger, re-dagger up, turn 4, Chain Gang to lock down the board, hit with our dagger, stuff like that. We can have really good sequences, or we can have really awkward sequences where, you know, we have to coin out a 4 and then we're kind of stuck without a dagger, or maybe we're holding our dagger too long, things like that. So I'd like to try and experiment with ways that we can maybe smooth that out a little bit. I'd love to see another 2-drop in here. In fact, Puisaurus mentioned from the chat mentioned Acidic Swampooze for some weapon mirrors, but Amani Berserker, I think that's a proper one that we can really experiment with, and it would really punish some of those odd paladin decks out there. The other thing is this Elven Minstrel, really wasn't liking it. Would love to see another Faldori Strider in here. Minstrel's just very hard to activate without a coin, or specifically backstab, and you have to kind of do it on turn 4. And the whole aim of Elven Minstrel is to, you know, make sure we still have gas in our hand. But Faldori Strider kind of already does that, in that later on, rather than us having another minion to deploy, hopefully a spider pops out or something like that. It's also a great proactive play. So I'd love to see the second Faldori Strider in here over the Elven Minstrel. And maybe we can make some room with this top end or something. Zihi does seem like it's going to have some really good matchups, so I loathe to cut that. But maybe the Bone Mare could go, and we could try and fit some more stuff in in here to help us get that curve on. Regardless, if you are watching on YouTube, of course, all the links are in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article where FunkiMonki has included not only a strategy write-up, but also a mulligan guide. They've also got some card replacements in here if you don't have Lich King or Zihi or anything like that. They've got some suggestions there for you. You can always check out them on Twitch and on YouTube as well. I believe they're on YouTube. Yes. So definitely go check them out. My links are in the description as well. You can come hang out with me live on Twitch. Watch me Miss Lethal live on the internet. Wow. You can complain about it there. That's at Tommy_Wave. Or you can catch me on Twitter at Tommy_Wave as well. But until next time, please stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, take your vitamin C, don't get the flu, and take some corpses too. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.